Let's turn up the volume here. Hopefully everyone is well tonight. I'm getting organized. I got my Christmas PJs on a little bit here. Excited to try a new non-alcoholic beer, guys. A Mocktail Monday that I've never tried. I'm looking it up on the Untapped app. Sometimes they have the non-alcoholics, sometimes they don't. Hopefully everyone is doing well. It's freezing out today in Michigan. Back to winter. Just trying to find out. Oh, it does have it on here. It gets pretty good rankings too. Intentional IPA. Here's the mocktail of the week here. Non-alcoholic beer. I found it. Our local liquor store right outside our neighborhood, right down the street, literally. Front of our neighborhood has amazing choices for everything. This is by Wellbeing Brewery, I guess. Intentional IPA, it's called. This is a whole pint though. Holy moly. Try that again. It tastes pretty good. I like it. Balanced, a little bit of hops. That's really good. Actually, I really like that. I'm going to give that like a 4 out of 5. It's really good. Check it in real quick here. I'm going to try and go live on Instagram again. See if anyone's on there, wants to ask any questions as we talk about some things. A lot more people active today. Let's see if anyone joins us. Let's turn the lights down a little bit. That light is terrible. I'm sorry. On Instagram Live, lighting is absolutely terrible. Let's try and go over here. Lighting's terrible on Instagram Live, but sorry about the lights. All right. Anyways, today we're live. There's a few people popping on here as we're talking. Non-alcoholic, I'll introduce to them. It's Wellbeing Brewery. It's an IPA. It's really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, actually. Very nice. Sorry about the lighting. Oh, God, Tyler's on now, too. He's probably judging me with my lighting. Well, that's as good as it's going to get on the Instagram today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, I wanted to talk a little bit more about some things about student loans, answer any questions anyone might pop in the chat. And Tyler, give me a piece. Yeah, man, I got lazy with it today, man. Sorry about that. The lighting's not great today, but it is what it is, man. I've had a 3-year-old that's been very, very sick, you guys. She's just getting better today, finally, after medicines and all that. So it's been kind of a wild weekend. But yeah, let's talk about student loans. I got some thoughts on that. What else was I going to say? Oh, debt consolidation. A lot of people have brought it up over the last year, not just with me in general. It's a very popular topic. If you Google it right now, talking about is debt consolidation right for you, maybe? And my thought process on that, working in many years of banking, financial credit unions and everything like that, we used to do a lot of that stuff. Oh, excuse me. So let's kick it off by talking a little bit about student loans. And it's giving me some notification on Facebook here. So let me see what's going on here. All right, we're good. I don't know why it just popped up. This says be ready to go live. We're already live. I don't know what's going on. So student loans, I've had a couple clients that have been working up to student loans. They're all due back up, you guys, by now. If you're not on a payment plan, I'd be surprised, or scheduling something, I guess you could say. But basically, I won't just use the couple of people that are working with me right now, but from what I've heard is kind of what we talked about the last couple of years is starting to creep back up on people. And what that looks like is, it was pandemic. It was, oh yeah, forbearance, blah, 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 blah. not going to worry about paying anything on it whatsoever. Well, guess what? It's coming back to bite a lot of them because the interest and everything's still accrued. And now they owe a lot more money than they expected because everything's kind of pushed together, consolidated, started a new plan for them. And what it looks like is, from what I've seen for the first few people I've talked to over it sounds like basically they're defaulting them into a shorter plan, which I would, with my addition, is it's probably a 10-year plan instead of, you have different choices of plans, income driven, longer terms plans and stuff like that, 10 years, 25 years, all that good stuff. It sounds like from the upfront things is most companies are just like, okay, it's time to repay. I need this much by December 25th or 31st. And it's a ridiculous amount of money. And I think probably most people are getting dropped into the 10-year plan, which obviously instead of 25 years, the longer you stretch it out, the less the payment's going to be. But I've actually dropped a few referrals into Renee. Shout out Renee if she sees this. I know she's not on right now. But she's a great student loan coach as well that knows a lot about student loans, way more than most of us, to be honest with you. And we've just kind of been talking about it a lot this month, me and her. And it seems like people are trying to not consolidate, but kind of try and figure out these websites all on their own now after not paying on them for a couple of years and like kind of looking at them like, okay, I owe that much. Oh my God, student loans are back. Like, I got to figure this out. Let me go on the website and see if I can play with the years now. And some people are screwing it up. And some people are just looking at it like, I have no idea you guys, it's very complicated. I mean, I've looked through the process with her. She's shown me, and a lot of these websites have made it even tougher to navigate. So when I was, honestly, I paid mine, me and my wife paid ours off in December of 21. That was kind of like our Christmas gift to each other, right? Not really, but you know what I mean. And God, it's been that long, 2 years. And basically during that time, all the years that I had the student loans, it was easier for me to navigate. So like if we had a payment plan here, that was, there was like 3 different ones back then, I think. I could go in every 6 months if we got more income and I would switch it back to a different payment plan. It might be the 25-year from the 15-year. And you say, well, why would you do that, Brian? Because it's less payment if you're making more money. Well, what we did is we took the student loans and said, okay, we made more money. Let's stretch it out to the 25 months. Because what happens, right? So now all of a sudden your $600 monthly payment becomes $400 because you stretched it to 25 years. But then we dropped all that extra money on top of it to hit all the principal. And it helped us pay it down way, way, way quicker. Just one quick tip. So I guess my point about student loans is if you're scared and you're like, oh my God, or some of them are just finishing up now and you might not repay them, might have to not start repaying them until January or February of next year. If you don't have a plan, you got to get one. And I'm telling you right now, from a professional, do not try a lot of this on your own. Reach out to somebody that might have someone that you can refer. I can refer you to people about student loans, or organize. If it's just as simple as, nope, I've done all my research. I owe this much in January. What the hell am I going to do? I don't have my stuff together. Well, you can call me. Give me a call. Like, seriously. There's 30 minutes for free for a reason, right? We can see if, it makes sense to get your budget in line or whatever you need to do. You might just need to reorganize your money, to be honest. Like, I'm so glad my supportive wife actually joined me this time. So that's awesome. I want to hit wave. I'm going to wave at Tyler. And I'm going to wave at Carrie. There we go. Cool. But yeah, a lot of people don't know how to, that's a panic mode, right? Some people open up a letter from the student loan servicing. They're used to living paycheck to paycheck, maybe already. All of a sudden they drop on you in a month and a half. You owe me $600 more bucks. How are you going to come up with that $600? It's a legit question because I'm seeing it, you guys. I'm seeing it. I'm not just making this up because we're live. It's very true. It's things that people don't think of. They, unfortunately, they've waited to the last minute instead of making $100 payments at least monthly, put a little bit. The last few years, all our financial people, everyone's been saying, please put some money. It doesn't matter if it's $100, $125, put something towards it. Don't just keep skipping and don't let it pay, because this is what's going to happen. And yeah, so it's starting to be painful to watch some of these things. So the quicker you can kind of figure out how you're going to get organized, and the quicker you need to realize I might need some help, like now is the time, because otherwise you don't want to default on these loans and stuff like that. That's just going to set you up for some crazy stuff. So yeah, student loans. If you're just joining us, go back and watch that. It'll be recorded on Facebook. Basically just talked about student loans, how you might want to hire someone if you don't know what you're doing and stuff like that. We have a delicious mocktail going, a non-alcoholic IPA. It's one of the best ones I've had. So yeah, next I want to talk about debt consolidation, because it's came up a lot all across the board in the last year, especially for most Americans. There's so many questions. Should I do this debt consolidation? So it depends, right? So I did many years at the credit union, and we did a lot of debt consolidation loans there, you guys. And from what my coaching experience is recently and running my own company and just the general information out there, you'll know it when I say it. But debt consolidation loans, I would say, if you're going to put a number on it, 83% of the time, probably not that much, but 83% of the time, it's a little joke there, how I met your mother. 83% of the time they don't work, because what happens is the people do what? They do the debt consolidation. Yay, I consolidated $10,000 of my debt into one payment. But then next month they go back, and what happens again? They just rack the credit card debt right back up in 6 months, and it starts all over. So it's basically kicking the can down the road. You've probably heard that phrase before. It's cheesy, but I mean, it's realistic. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it might not be 83%, but I bet you at least 70% of debt consolidation loans I've seen over the years don't work. So, well, you said, Brian, well, I mean, what about the other 25 or 30%? I mean, it worked for us. Yeah, that's great. You got to have some discipline. You got to be able to chop those credit cards up, and you really have to sit there and say, I'm disciplined, basically. And a lot of us don't have that, and that's okay. Discipline is very hard to overcome, especially the last year or two with inflation and stuff. I feel like our discipline has kind of gone out the door a little bit in terms of basically, what was I going to say? Basically, the discipline's gone out the door because we're all in panic mode, paycheck to paycheck. You can sit there and everybody writes 61%. I'm going to say this every week. 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck that make like up to 100,000. It's more than that. I guarantee you that. I know it's more than that. It's not just because I've seen more than 61% that I've worked with. I mean, everyone I talk to, it seems like way more than 6 out of 10 people are like, oh my God, we're tight on finances. Raise your hand. Okay. But the point is, debt consolidation only works for a certain amount of people. And it could be a good option for you. You never know. It is back there on the back end of it. I obviously do not coach towards suggesting debt consolidation. I think debt consolidation could be a last resort, second to last resort, basically. I just think that there's so many other debt plans and different ways to make things happen, other than just consolidating debt that probably won't happen and probably won't work. So there's different plans that we run through in my coaching, to be honest with you, and there's different ways that we look at the approach. It's individualistic. So what might work for this person is probably not going to work for that person, and so on and so on. And so we build that plan while we're in the coaching together to figure out what pace it's going to work for you, how you're going to achieve those goals and still not feel like paycheck to paycheck, basically. So we're going to open up a lot of money. That's what people need to do, is open up a lot of money. And there's ways to do that we go through. And then as much as possible, have a strategy of, paying a certain debt or making it a goal. You got to have goals of what you want to pay down first. And that's a huge part of what we work on, is just figuring out what works best for you, the consumer. So when it comes to debt consolidation, people ask me, and I've heard it asked before on here, is debt consolidation good? Should I do it? It depends. A lot of the times it doesn't work, you guys, but a lot of times it might be an option for you. You never know. So it's definitely something to still keep in the back of mind, but there's other options that I think that might work best for you, for a lot of people. Let's see here. What else did I want to talk about? So debt consolidation, we talked about that. Oh, we're going live, or we're not going live. I'm sorry. Me and a special guest are going on our podcast, my podcast tomorrow. We had to reschedule it because sicknesses and some other things that came up between both of us. It just was kind of a wild Friday. So I'm sorry it's delayed. It's definitely something I'm going to do a quick promo. You're not going to want to miss. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe tonight if you see this, or tomorrow, and get on there, and a new app will be posted tomorrow night. It's going to be all about Christmas tips, basically, some savings tricks around the Christmas time, and how to have conversations with while building a budget with your partner. And no, it's not my wife again. So that's a teaser. It's somebody else that is really relevant in the financial game. So you will not want to miss that. The Money Revelation, Spotify podcast, or Apple Podcasts. Make sure you subscribe. And yeah, that's kind of it tonight, guys. I didn't have a lot to talk about tonight. Like I said, it's been kind of chaotic when your daughter's sick pretty much the whole weekend and part of last week. Sue, see, she's trying to give it to me too. It's crazy. So that's about it for tonight. I appreciate you watching. I'm going to do some picks real quick. We're going to talk sports. There's not a lot of good sports on. All my teams kind of below right now, including the Lions, who have just become a disappointment, but we're still going to make their picks. See, I'm struggling now, guys. And so the picks are up. There's only 3 picks this weekend. I know bowl games start this weekend, but they might as well not start because they're terrible. I tried to look at for one college football pick, and it was like disgusting. All the good games don't start for another week or two. But yeah, before we do that, drop it on the Money Revelations, the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that on the list of ones. If you're like, hey, I would love to get 2024 off to a bang, basically, but I just don't know if coaching is right for me. That's the point, you guys, of the complimentary call. It really is why not just, hop on a call with me. We'll see if it works for you. See if you need some organization. And I'm going to tell you if I can help you and if I can't help you. Hopefully, most people I can help. I'm going to be honest with you. We got to start 2024 off way better than 23. 23 has just sucked for a lot of people, and we're going to get back on track in 24. You got to be positive. So I will drop this in the comments on Facebook. I don't know if I can really comment on YouTube. Oh, yeah, I can. So I'll drop the complimentary call on Facebook and YouTube if people are rewatching this and stuff like that. Hit me up if you ever need anything. Follow me on Instagram mostly, Madeline Financial Coaching. Here's the picks. Some ugly games, but we're going to talk about them anyway. The Lions. No, I'm sorry. The Steelers are the first Saturday night game. There's Saturday games. So both of my favorite teams, NFL teams, get to play on Saturday. And I'm only feeling good about one of them. So Colts and Steelers. Sounds like Trubisky is going to start again for the Steelers. He sucks. The Steelers have just turned into this. I don't even know what it is. This blob of a team that they used to be years ago. They just keep trucking around and hoping their defense steps up, and it hasn't been stepping up. They play the Colts this weekend. They're 2.5-point underdogs. I'm taking Colts 20-17. 20 to 1-7. I just don't think the Steelers are going to get it done. It's just going to be an ugly game. A lot of good defense, not a good offense. Lions better get their crap together. It's been an ugly month for them. It's just everything looks out of whack. They got a home game, Saturday night primetime home game. I mean, that place is going to be rocking at Detroit Ford Field. Broncos are pretty good. All of a sudden, they've been playing really good. What have they won, like 5 out of 6 or something like that? They're on fire. But they're still an ugly, ugly team. I think that they play good defense. I think the Lions are going to squeeze this one out. It's not going to be a blowout, you guys. We'll be lucky to win this one. I'm going to go Lions 24-20 Broncos. 24-20 Lions are going to win. They're going to get back on track, but it's not going to be that pretty, I don't think, still. This one's just for Jason Black and the Bills Cowboys. I thought that's a really good game, and it was really weird because all of a sudden the Bills are favored by 2.5 points. I don't really get it. I think they're at home. I'll have to go back and check. But like the Cowboys have been trucking people left and right. I mean, they've been on fire. They've been the best team probably in the league right now, other than San Fran. I mean, whatever. But there's a reason Vegas doesn't usually lose a lot. So there's a reason the Bills have been favored by 2 to 2.5 since yesterday. I don't really get it. I figured the Cowboys would still be favored on the road, just the way they've been playing. And the Bills have been getting really lucky. But for Jason Black, I'm going to go Bills 26, Cowboys 23. Something's weird about that. So if you're watching, Jason, hopefully, or if you get to see this, go Bills. Let's knock those NFC tied leaders down a little bit because the Lions need it. The Lions need to win. Cowboys need to lose. That's my picks. If you need anything else, like I said, I'll drop it in the comments, complimentary chat. I love doing this. Mocktail of the week was amazing. Well-being IPA, non-alcohol, was delicious. We'll see you guys soon. Madeline Financial Coaching. Lots coming in 2024. Get ready. Can't wait to show it to you.